Hello, everybody, and welcome to the TrustSwap Launchpad interview series with Stabble. My name is Brett, and I'll be your host. Today, I'm joined by Kilian, the CEO of Stabble. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks a lot for inviting us, and thanks a lot for your continued support with our launch.
As always, quick reminder to the community, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and like this video for more Launchpad news, updates, and exclusive content. Also, if you're wondering how to get involved in the TrustSwap Launchpad, we just created a how to participate video, and we'll link it in this video and the description below. Now that we got the housekeeping out of the way, let's get right into it. First off, Kilian, can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So back then, 2017, I joined the crypto industry. And since then, I've worked with a couple of different projects. 2017, of course, it was the area of the ICOs. It was a great time. But of course, as lots of people that also joined at that time or before that time, there was a big crash in 2018, and utility tokens have been basically that. So that means I switched towards security tokens then, and ended up working with different institutions, financial institutions, or also with other startups, and got a job offer from a startup from Germany. They were into real estate tokenization, and I was responsible for a reverse IPO and merger of equals, and I did that. There are other things going on like NFTs, DeFi, and utility tokens are actually back on track. And there was a reason when I decided to focus more on utility tokens again, worked with a couple of projects, invested into them, became an investing co-founder, was in the management, was working as an advisor for them. And then 2 years ago, I founded Stabble with a couple of friends together. And that's how we ended up being here, actually.
It's quite the resume and quite the journey. Can you tell myself and the TrustSwap community a little bit about Stabble?
Yeah, sure. So, 2 years ago, there was someone could say it's not a good time to launch a project because the market was so bearish, but actually, that's the best time to launch a project. But what you need is you need a proper problem that you solve, because it does not work to get together a fancy app, a fancy UI, and then sell it to investors because everyone will buy it, because other persons will buy it at a higher price later on. That don't work in a bearish market. So that means we really try to look for a problem that benefits the community if we solve that problem. And what we identified is that decentralized exchanges have several design flaws that just lead into inefficiencies. On the one hand side, we have the liquidity providers. As lots of people, lots of you guys might already know, we have the risk of impermanent loss for liquidity providers due to inefficiencies, also lower APYs than they could be, for example. And then also on the other hand side, we have the price impact for the traders. And price impacts, of course, result in DeFi or decentralized exchanges that result from insufficient liquidity within pools. And we thought, okay, if we solve these problems, we are solving a big problem, because to give you a little bit of numbers, for example, these inefficiencies on a normal decentralized exchange within the Lana ecosystem, it's a little bit tricky to explain that, but inefficiencies in decentralized exchanges lead to arbitrage opportunities for arbitrage traders. And these arbitrage opportunities, they are draining a value of 27% of a protocol out of the protocol per year. And we thought, okay, if these inefficiencies are so high, and once we had that number, we thought, okay, we're going to solve this, and then we have a big business case here.
Wow, yeah, it seems it's that I didn't even know the numbers on the arbitrage. That's that's something everybody should be concerned about with their protocol.
Yeah, actually, arbitrage is something no one is really aware of. Not really. Lots of people are talking about it, and it is actually quite easy to get these numbers. You just have to. Most of the data is on chain, and also due to one of our team members, our chief product officer, doing his PhD in behavioral finance, he has lots of data about arbitrage because he's specializing in or DeFi inefficiencies and arbitrage opportunities. That's what he's writing his thesis about. And once we combined his know-how and on-chain data, we came up with that number, and we're really shocked. And of course, if you look at the price impact, I think everyone knows that if you have, if the liquidity is not just there, you can pay prices of, it can be 5% for a trade. You pay 5% and it's just gone. You get 90% of the other asset from the amount that you spend. So these are really, really problems that affect almost every DeFi user that is, or at least every DeFi user that is interacting with decentralized exchanges.
Absolutely. They're huge problems. And I'm glad to see that you have the expertise and the plan to take care of these problems. On that note, from my notes and my research before this, I understand that traders using your platform are going to see a near zero price impact on their trades. I think that's amazing. How does this work exactly?
Yeah, this is actually the idea to prevent price impacts to happen was based on some other features that solve the liquidity related issues. So for example, what we introduce is protocol managed liquidity that controls the liquidity within the pools as a protocol, not the users control the liquidity, but our protocol can dynamically adjust liquidity within the pools. And then we also have something that is called smart liquidity arbitrage or smart liquidity arbitrage pools. And these pools are there in order to, of course, people can deposit money there or stake their assets, like USDC, for example. And our protocol does arbitrage trades as it is connected to other decentralized exchanges within the Solana ecosystem. So given these two features, we know that our protocol controls the liquidity in the pools and also controls the price, given, of course, some parameters outside of our protocol, like other decentralized exchanges. So it's very, I always tend to say it's Oracle-ish without using an Oracle. But based on these two facts, that we control liquidity and the prices within the pools, we thought, okay, in that case, if a trader has a trade, for example, and that's a large trade, and the liquidity within the pool is not sufficient, what happens if we cut that, or if we fragmentize that trade into several orders? Let's say you want to swap 50K, and we can then calculate, okay, if you would swap the whole 50K within the liquidity that is in the pool, you would have a price impact that is way too high. But what happens if we execute 10 orders with 5,000 US dollar per trade? What then happens is you execute the first trade, $5,000. The price impact is very, very minimal under our threshold, predefined threshold. And then after your first trade, the protocol readjusts the liquidity and also readjusts the price to the fairest market price that is available at that time when it's adjusted. And then your second trade can be executed. So that means you can do trades and multiple trades, and we always can ensure that there is sufficient liquidity and also sufficient or a fair market price for that trade. So that's basically the feature that we call smart order execution.
Wow. So an incredible team, an incredible product. I'm already on board. I'm a marketing guy,
Thank
though.
you. Thank you.
I understand how the world works in marketing. What's your plan to get the masses on board? This sounds incredible. It's quite technical. What's the go-to-market strategy? Can you share that with us today?
Sure. So we have three core pillars. And of course, first of all, we do like the traditional marketing with the help of agencies. They help us create content. They help us to onboard KOLs, for example. This is pretty much the standard stuff, I would say. But then when it really comes to user acquisition and scaling our protocols KPIs, which is volume and TVL, we are heavily focusing on third-party integrations, for example, with Jupiter, because that brings us their users. We know that we can be one of the DEXs that can be utilized for Jupiter's trades. And that automatically brings us lots of users if we have a good price that we can offer, which we know due to the technical facts and due to the architecture that we have chosen for our product. So that means we can onboard thousands of users without them even knowing them and without us being required to spend large marketing budgets to acquire these users, actually. And then the third thing is we will actively reach out to projects and convince them to launch their token on our protocol. But because due to our flexible pools, we have some mechanics in place that let them save a lot of liquidity. So that means a launch is way cheaper, I would say, for projects compared to launching on other DEXs within the Solana ecosystem.
Incredible. And it's quite a comprehensive go-to strategy. I'm sure there's tons of technical in the back, but I do love going through, the traditional routes with your first pillar you were talking about, those big integrations and partnerships. Obviously, for everybody who's not in crypto marketing, those are very big. And then onboarding projects as well. It's a wonderful strategy, and I really like where it's going. On to the final thing that I want to talk about. So we talked about the vision. We talked about the research and the team members. We talked about the product, which is awesome. We talked about no, we didn't talk about this yet. This is the one I wanted to bring up. TrustSwap community is really big on token utility. How does the Stabble token tie into the platform? And why are people going to want to hold that token?
Sure. So, I mean, of course, we have a legal entity, but in the core, we are our structure is a DAO structure. So that means everyone that is holding our token and is willing to stake our token can receive a portion of the fees that our protocol is generating. And there's no difference between us as a legal entity staking tokens to earn revenue compared to any investor staking tokens and earning also some revenue. So that means everyone can, participate into the staking program and earn some money through that. And on top of that, we also have some other utilities. For example, if you decide to lock your tokens, you can then participate into the governance processes and also receive a trading discount of up to 100%. So that means depending on the amount of tokens that you lock within the staking smart contract, you can pay zero money for your trading fees. So that are our main token utilities.
Wow. You love to see a good token utility that actually rewards the user. I love it.
Yeah.
Speaking of rewarding the users, there's one thing all the video watchers are already going to know my little spiel here, but the TrustSwap community loves that alpha. Is there any chance that you can give us a sneak peek? You peel back the curtain a little bit on anything top secret that you have coming up or something that you guys are working on?
Yeah, of course. I mean, let me maybe tell you the TGE date and the mainnet launch date. TGE 13th of June, mainnet launch 28th of June. And there's something very interesting happening when we are having our TGE because the Lolana Foundation is hosting the Island DAO, which is basically they rented out a huge villa on Crete in Greece, and they are inviting hundreds of Solana builders, teams, founders, etc. And we're all going to co-work. And what we're going to do is we will host a huge launch party there. So for everyone who's familiar with the Island DAO or coming there, join our TGE party on the 13th of June.
Amazing. I got to get my little island attire on and try to find my way out there. Awesome.
Yeah, get your shots together and
I get some sunglasses and I'm going to be good to go. Well, on that note, I want to be involved with the island, but can you tell me how the TrustSwap community can get involved?
of course. So, I mean, everyone can get involved. Just make sure to follow us and get into our Discord server. Stay tuned on our launch on TrustSwap itself. And then, we will have the TGE. Of course, then after the TGE, everyone can get involved and become a community member. You just need your tokens. You can actively be part of our protocol. Governance functions will launch quite soon. I don't have the exact date on my mind right now, but within this year, definitely. So that means, this can be done by everyone. And of course, after our mainnet launch, everyone, and of course, TrustSwap users, but also everyone else can get involved by, using our protocol. So far, for the people that want to check it out right now, you can use it already, but only on DevNet. So that means you have to switch your wallet, your network from mainnet or beta on Solana. You have to switch it to DevNet, and then you can also already start trading on our protocol.
Awesome. And we mentioned a couple things there, but TrustSwap community, you've heard it before. The best way to support these projects, the best way to support the projects that you're going to be participating in, head over to their socials. Like Kilian said, head over to that Discord, head over to those socials, stay tuned, ask questions, get into the process, and we can really help these companies grow and have success in the near future. We will be putting all the links that we talked about today in the description of this video below. So just scroll on down, open up that description section. You'll be able to find all the official social links. Make sure you're clicking them from our official X accounts, Telegram channels, or YouTube channels to make sure that you avoid any sketchy links. But head on into the description below. As well, if you're wondering how to participate in that TrustSwap Launchpad, or if you're wondering how to increase your swap score because you want a bigger allocation, we have created that new video for the community, how to participate in the TrustSwap Launchpad. You're going to want to go check that one out. Leave us any comments on either video, and let's get going. I'm really excited for this launch coming up on TrustSwap. I really appreciate you spending all this time with me today, and I kind of wanted to give you the floor if you had any final words or comments for the TrustSwap community.
Yeah, so make sure the most important thing right now is make sure to follow our socials, because we have so many announcements lined up as our TGE and mainnet launch are so close together. There are tons of great things happening within the next couple of weeks. So really make sure, what Brett already said, join our socials, join our Discord, follow us on X, and don't miss anything.
So I always got to keep up with those notifications. I have little folders in my Telegram and Discord where I have all the notifications. Be organized, TrustSwap community. You know it pays off. Thank you, Kilian, for joining us today. Thank you for sharing your vision for Stabble. As always, I want to thank the most important people, the audience, for watching this week's TrustSwap interview series. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave those comments down below, as Kilian and I would love to answer them. If you got more questions, head on over to their Discord channel and make sure to ask. They will be more than happy to answer your questions and get back to you, and start to hang out with you in their channels. As always, thank you again, everybody. We appreciate you joining us, and we look forward to the upcoming launch of Stabble on the TrustSwap Launchpad. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.